Now, joining us to further discuss on the latest development is political analyst Mr. Bishnu Sapkota. Mr. Sapkota, welcome to Kantipur News. How have you viewed the latest development?
I have viewed it with utter disgust and frustration, and nothing could be more tragic and unfortunate for a country which is struggling with the pandemic, with the second wave. I look at it basically in three major concerns. I see three major concerns. The first is obviously the recent political development, and especially Prime Minister Oli's move and his cabinet's decision and his tactical move. What it demonstrates is that there is utter lack of attention to how to control pandemic. So he doesn't care about people's health, and there is no attention given to that. That's the first. Number two, starting with the dissolution of Parliament in December, first time, to this morning, it has thoroughly and in a calculated way, not in an accidental way, undermined the spirit of the Constitution. And unfortunately, the President has been an accomplice for that. And the third is, although the elections have been announced, first of all, it's going to be again challenged at the Supreme Court, and we don't know what the verdict will be this time. But again, regardless of what the Supreme Court will decide on this, Nepal is it's destined to further instability. About the first point, how to control pandemic and all of that, as well as the whole promise with which this current government was formed 3 years ago, it only demonstrates the utter failure of KP Oli, the then CPM, and the current UML leadership.
We definitely have to wait for the Supreme Court's verdict, but how do you think, how likely is it the elections will be held in the said dates or in November?
And first of all, if the pandemic situation continues like this, or we don't know how it will unfold. From the current scenario, I don't think Nepal will be able to vaccinate the majority of its people by November. So when people are not vaccinated, and we don't know how the situation will evolve with the pandemic, should election be the priority for the country? So that is the first question. And so even if elections are possible, or the government is hell-bent, as Prime Minister Oli seems to be hell-bent, wants to go ahead, I think there are other concerns about whether this is part of the design, as many people comment that the Prime Minister Oli never intends to conduct elections. It's only that he had to announce dissolving the parliament, so he has announced the elections for November. But going forward, the way we have seen how he has behaved and how he has undermined the Constitution, I don't think people are assured that the elections will be held regardless of the pandemic, because of the political design and the other conspiracies and everything. I think we cannot discount everything, all these conspiracies or rumors, whatever, because of the way the current government has been delegitimized, and how Prime Minister has been an accomplice with the President, been an accomplice with the Prime Minister on every unconstitutional move. So I think elections are uncertain even from a political point of view.
Mr. Sapkota, where does these kind of incidents or unconstitutional moves, as you say, put the organization and institution like the Office of the President?
The Office of the President has been delegitimized so much that it has posed risk for the institutionalization of the new republic itself. So I think with everything that has been happening in recent months, to start with the December dissolution of the Parliament, what it has done is only undermining the new Constitution, the fundamental framework of institutionalizing the republic and the federalism. Although we understand that the President's office is ceremonial, President Vidyadevi Bhandari is a ceremonial president, but if she signs on everything which the Prime Minister recommends, and for anyone who has a basic common sense, basic constitutional literacy, knows that this is unconstitutional, but she goes on approving everything, there is no use of keeping that institution. Of course, I am not saying that we should not keep that institution. My point is, because of her act, she has thoroughly undermined the role of the presidency, of the institution of presidency. This is very unfortunate for the Republican setup, which we're just struggling to found, in fact.
What do you think would be a preferable course for our national politics in the days to come?
First of all, President Bhandari last night, it was past midnight, which was weird. There was nothing wrong, even if she could have consulted, for 1 day or 2 days. There was no need. I mean, one is we know about Mr. KP Oli for who he is. I think now not many people have illusion about what he is capable of doing. So I was not surprised. Nor am I surprised about President Bhandari, because the way she has been partnering, with the Prime Minister about all these unconstitutional things. So about the immediate past of the last night or early morning, that she could have at least verified the signatures of those 149 parliamentarians. Without verifying those signatures, or without even consulting with, whoever experts she was surrounded with or independent, so she chose to do. So although to me personally, it was not a surprise again that whatever KP Oli, whatever unconstitutional move he would take up, the president would just approve it. But regardless of that, she has failed on many fronts, on multiple occasions in her role. And the next move for the country, I think, as we hear that the 149 parliamentarians are planning to go to the Supreme Court with a writ. If the Supreme Court again gives a decision to cancel this, and elections may be postponed or delayed, or we will not be in a situation where we have to go for elections in this situation of the pandemic. So that would be one course, but we don't know what the Supreme Court will say. So for the country, dissolution of the parliament would be the least preferable option at the moment. KP Oli should have paved the way, made somebody else, either to the opposition or whoever. So he should have resigned when the Supreme Court had canceled the dissolution he had recommended, and on later occasions. So even now, I think if the Supreme Court restores the parliament once again, and this parliament is able to function for its full tenure, that is another 1.5 years, and that there is a next government from within the parliament, I think regardless of who that person will be, it is still the better option. But if we don't get that decision from the Supreme Court, I think it's very unfortunate that in this situation of pandemic and with all these uncertainties, with those rumors of design and whatever, it looks very unfortunate for Nepal, and I don't feel optimistic about the coming few months.
Mr. Sapkota, thank you for your time and valuable thoughts.
Thank you.
That was political analyst Mr. Bishnu Sapkota sharing with us his opinion on the latest dissolution of the lower house. The president dissolved the lower house after midnight last night and called for a midterm elections on 12th and 19th of November, which many have called a breach of constitution.